defensive side of the ball. John, let's get over to the offense. All right. We talked a little bit already about receivers tonight. Let's go QB1. John, how did Jalen Hurts look today in day 9 of training camp?
Yeah, some good, some bad, usual. Had the interception I talked about, extending
That
play.
sounded like it was just a great play by Quinyon. Diving interception, right?
Yeah, it was low, and I think it was tough to tell, but it wasn't a well thrown ball that Hollywood could have gotten if Quinyon didn't. Quinyon didn't. He made a great play catching it, which is big for Quinyon because he isn't the best hands in the world, and it hasn't translated them. So good to see him doing that. But yeah, it wasn't his best throw, but he had some really good throws. So as well. And I would say overall it was a pretty good day for him. But when the highlights are what they are, and then extending the play. Look, if you're going to rush 2 people, that's like
yeah. I mean, I think it was Kemsky who wrote Nolan Smith was shouting at anybody.
Nolan said, I said that.
Jimmy wrote it. Jimmy, the way I know, but the way Jimmy wrote it was hilarious. It was like Nolan was shouting at anybody who would listen to ingest one of his body parts, and I'm like, all right, Kemsky, I think we get it. But it was pretty fun. It was pretty funny the way Jimmy Kemsky wrote that. Nolan wasn't happy about it though.
No, well, it literally, and that's not hyperbole. It literally took about 10 seconds. And, there was a lot of debate, and, the people on that side were saying, well, there's only 2 rushes and Jalen was just avoiding them, now my mentality is if it goes that long, you're going to have either a hold or you're going to try to get off or something's going to happen. And certainly in practice, they'll usually blow that play dead. Which they didn't.
Rush 2 men in practice. That's what you get. I'm with the offense. I think from what it sounds like to me.
Well, and yeah, so they didn't get the 2-point conversion anyway, so they didn't tie the game. It was a situation where they were down 8. Then they had to get the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, and they should have gotten the 2-point conversion, but Hollywood Brown just tripped. Which is, ball don't lie. It's Rasheed Wallace would say. Ball don't lie.
No doubt about it. All right, good stuff there. John, how about the running backs? What's been going on at that spot? You kind of talked about all summer how, everybody's excited about the passing game. It's the running game they got to fix, right? And there's still going to be a run-first offense, a run-first team. Makes sense. How's it looked? What have you seen so far? Day 9, getting a little deeper into camp. Obviously, you've had multiple practices now, full pads. What are you seeing at the running back spot and what the run game overall looks like from this Eagles offense?
I mean, I think it's going to be good, but it's so hard in the modern environment. I mean, they don't tackle. I mean, it's almost to the point where it's like it's almost silly. I wish everyone could get together and say, this is a really dangerous game. Tell all the players, one of the big problems was back in the days of Pete Rozelle and Paul Tagliabue, they would hide the dangers of the game from the players.
Right.
Now everybody knows, you're signing waivers anyway. You know how dangerous it is. Go out and fucking practice. Go out and fucking practice.
No, the business of the game's getting in the way, my friend.
I don't know how anybody with a straight face can say I can evaluate the running game. Tank Bigsby is running 60 yards on every play, and fans go nuts because he's hustling. He gets open. He just keeps running. But Saquon they both look like they have a ton of juice. The offensive line is relatively healthy. I think it's going to be good. But anybody who tells you they can evaluate the running game is lying to you.
Understandable. Are you at least seeing some differences in their approach to the run game in practice as compared to what they ran in the past?
Yeah, they run more outside zone than inside zone.
So you are seeing that though. That is coming to fruition, at least in practice right now.
Yeah, it's probably 60-40 outside where it used to be 60-40 inside.
So a little bit minor switch.
Yeah. And they still, which I think is they should, in short yardage, they seem to be using the pistol a lot. Sean Mannion said they will use the tush push Saturday, which they don't practice. That's another thing. It's not like they ever line up in the tush push. So and the best play of the Eagles offense the entire summer has been the quarterback draw. The best play, the most successful play.
I'm actually excited to hear that.
And that's both Jalen Hurts and Cole Payton. Obviously not Tanner and Andy.
Yeah, obviously.
But both
Cole
of those
Payton is a good scrambler, huh? Got great athleticism.
Tremendous. He's a tremendous runner. Unfortunately, he's thrown 87 interceptions, but I'm exaggerating. But as a runner, he's off. He legit looks like Taysom Hill as a runner.
Wow, that's a crazy comp.
He's a great runner. But yeah, it's going to be tough to play him. I dubbed him the YOLO quarterback. That ball, he doesn't care. He's not worried about ball security. He's just throwing that fucking thing.
Nick Sirianni's going to have to get in his ear to coach him up on ball security. Pretty soon he'll be a shell of himself, afraid to throw it in any tight windows like every other Eagles quarterback.
Yeah, well, we'll probably never get to that point, but he's a heck of an athlete. He really is, and he's probably, if anything, he's bigger than Taysom Hill. Actually,
you don't expect some Taysom Hill like packages this year, do you?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think so, but if you don't want to, I've always been an advocate since I saw it at Mitchell Evans. I saw was a good college tight end, and he used to come in. I guess he was a high school quarterback, so he was comfortable taking the snap. And he used to come in and do quarterback sneaks, like motion in and keep the quarterback from killing himself. Just a big 260-pound tight end. He was really comfortable. He's just dominant. I've always advocated that, if you want to line him up as a receiver and do that, but you have Jalen Hurts, If you didn't have Jalen Hurts, I'd say I'm all on board with that. But he's got to make the team first, and he's not going to make the team unless they trade Tanner or Andy. But if Andy Dalton was the starting quarterback, I would put him out there as a wide receiver and rotate him in to take quarterback sneaks, like Taysom Hill. I would do something like that. But you already have the best sneak quarterback in the NFL, so it's not a big deal in Philadelphia.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, good stuff there on the quarterbacks. We'll see what that continues to look like.